Good morning, delivery fam. Welcome to another episode of Breakfast with UDM. Y'all know how it goes, right? This morning, we're going to be talking about discussing real driver experiences with DELIVERTHAT and the NOLA Grind. If you don't know who the NOLA Grind is, search him up. And I'm going to post the link of his channel in the description below. And also, it's going to be pinned at the top of the comments, okay? So let me know, what are you having for breakfast? And how has your week been? Has it been slow? Has it been pretty good? Let me know. Good morning, Mo's Gigs. Good morning, linking with Naz. Oh my gosh, linking with Taz. My bad. All right. Good morning, Wendy Butler. Good morning, Living My Life 24/7. Good morning, Karen Yazad. Good morning, the NOLA Grind. Good morning, LT HUD. Good morning, Nomadic GigiCon Mom. Good morning, Johan Lopez, Gig Wise, Dog Chapman. Good morning to you all. Ricky Moss. Who else we got up in here? Rideshare Lisa. Good morning to you. All right. We got Charlene Edwards. Good morning, UDM and the D fam. It's a rainy, cold, and dreary day in Boston today. All right. Good morning, Eva Noska. All right. Bright, sunny day in Chi-Town. Hope everyone is doing well. Oh, man. Oh, good morning to you. So we got the breakfast. What's the breakfast? What's on the meal? What's on the menu? I can't get my words right this morning. Frosted mini wheats. Hold up. Feet are above the ground. It's a good week. Okay. Sarah G says, yogurt and blueberries. Week has been slow. It's been so slow. I gotta say it's slow. Right? Ricky Moss, nice funky jam right there. Pretty much. I appreciate that. It's been a great week for you, Nomadic. Okay, radio blip mode. Good morning. Tracy Stevens, good morning. JC Casterline, good morning. Otika Johnson, good morning. We got a packed house this morning. Hey, they want to hear what my guests got to say this morning. Whew. Okay, all right. Ryan Alta, top of the morning to you. All right, just a few more comments here. Virgo Sapphire says, morning, with a hand purple, blue piece, face, green smiling. I don't know why it does that. Just show me what the emoji is or whatever the chat thing is. Good morning. Gigwise says, no breakfast for me yet, but I got my laundry started. Okay. All right. At least you're doing something, right? Coffee and Bojangles. Okay. All right, who else we got up in here? Just a few more comments, y'all. Good morning, Kick Rocks. Good morning, Leading Edge. Good morning, Inspector Colombo. Good morning, Bigfoot Dasher. Well, damn. That's an interesting name. Good morning to you. Good morning, UTH. Good morning. And the last one I'll say good morning to is Miguel Hernandez. As you all know, we have some promos. As many of you already know, I have taken the podcast, I've put it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But I also understand that not every last one of you have an account with these top three, right? I know some of you might have YouTube Premium, and you can listen to videos in the background, right? So for those that have the YouTube Premium, I did y'all a solid. Let's get these off of the screen. And now the Life of a Gig Worker podcast can be streamed on YouTube. Okay. If you saw that a few days ago, I released some videos that it was just a static picture. You didn't see anything. It was just the audio version of the podcast. Then that's what it was. It wasn't new videos, but they were released as videos from YouTube. I don't know why. All right. I just shared my RSS feed, and this is how they released them. All right. So if you have not checked out any of these versions or any of these, you can check them out. And this one is going to be released as a podcast episode as well. All right. Now, as I already said, I am going to have guests, and before I even put them up on the screen, I want to let y'all know that this video is sponsored by Deliver That. All right. But we're going to have a real discussion about driver experiences. But let's give a wave to Mr. Christian. How you doing, brother? Just wave to the screen. All right. Well, they can't hear you. They can't hear you. Not yet. All right. Just wait. All right. And we got the Nola Grind. All right. All right. Yeah. Finally got you on the stream, Nola. All right. So, again, family, we're going to be discussing real driver experiences with Christian from Deliver That and the Nola Grind. All right. I want you guys to chime in. I want you guys to call in and share your experiences as well as your markets if you wish to do so. But there's only one thing I request. I want you to keep it real, but I also want you to keep it respectful. I know not everyone has had a great experience with the platform, but just keep it respectful. Double R, real and respectful. All right. If you attempt to keep it disrespectful, then I'm going to have to put you in timeout, and, I probably won't take your call, or I'll probably hang up on you if you're being disrespectful. So with all that said, let's get my guests up on the screen. What's up? Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Christian, you all right?
How's the mic? We good?
The mic is good. I just want to make sure you all right, because you took a good morning. You took a breath, man.
Yeah, I think I wasted my great good morning on the intro there where we were just supposed to wave. I got a little excited on that one.
You was excited. Okay. All right. So the thing is, as far as real driver experiences go, the thing is, I really wanted to focus on just having a conversation with you, both of you, right, from your perspective, and at the same time including my perspective as well in Miami, and just having a real conversation as to as far as Christian goes. Listen, bro, I want you to at least share from your perspective the efforts that Deliver That is making to try to rectify a lot of these issues, if you don't mind going into that, okay? So first things first, I want to get with Nola Grind. On Deliver That, brother, how has it been for you since you signed up?
I'm loving it. I'm loving the platform. It's been very smooth for me, but I'm in a market where I guess there's not a whole lot of drivers, maybe. That's what people are telling me. It must be that not a whole lot of Deliver That drivers here. I mean, I see them out and about, toting their bags or whatnot. But it's been very smooth for me. I can, if I want to work the entire day, I can get a few a day if I want to. I, of course, only work a short shift, so I generally take one every weekday.
Right.
But it's been very smooth for me overall, for sure.
I love it. What city are you in, man?
I'm in New Orleans.
Okay. I should have known by the NOLA, but I didn't want to assume. There's a lot of Buffalo going on over there, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm from New York, so I got to represent,
I love it. Yeah, hey. I would say New Orleans isn't a crazy busy market for us from a driver standpoint, or really even a delivery standpoint. But
not at all,
we're adding so many restaurants. Come holiday time, so many restaurants are signing up. So it's becoming more diverse, the offers that drivers are seeing out there, and I think we can touch on that today.
Hey, Christian, can you do me a favor? Would you be able to pull the mic in front of you a little bit more?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's a lot better. You were sounding a little bit like this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It sounds decent. We can hear you, but it's just wanted to make sure. But
get up close.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. So what did you guys have for breakfast? What's on the menu? I'm fasting right now.
I am as well. Vic hopped in here. He's part of our team, and he brought in Bojangles for the fellas today. So as soon as this is over, I got a chicken sandy lined up.
I usually eat after 1, so I start after 1 usually. So intermittent thing.
All right. Yeah. So Christian, check this out, right? We're gonna look at the comments in a second, guys. But I want to just ask some questions. I want to ask Christian some questions really quick. Christian, there is currently a comment I'm gonna put up on the screen right here, and I want to hear your response to this, right? Alexis Rodriguez commented on one of my previous videos, saying y'all really need to stop telling people about catering gigs. Stop it, please, because this is exactly what happened with the other apps, and it got flooded. Please, you and I know there's not enough work, and in 2 years you'll have a live stream saying the thing about catering. Look, the rich people don't tell their secrets. Please stop selling out for some YouTube change. How do you feel about this driver wanting to for me not to share any information about DeliverThat or any kind of catering or whatnot, thinking that, hey, it's going to get flooded, it's going to get slow, there's not enough orders? Like, what's your response to that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I come from just an abundance mindset, and I think DeliverThat does as well, right? We know other delivery service providers are getting more and more into the catering space, and in my mind, there's plenty of market share for everyone. I think the challenge with catering is it's very heavy during the lunch period. So logistically, it can be tough to route lots of deliveries. But even as we go around and travel, we hear the stories about, I signed up on Uber's platform early on or Lyft's platform early on, and I used to make way more money, have way more offers. So I certainly understand and can sympathize with that piece and the experience on some other platforms. For us, it's about making sure we're not oversaturating the market. So there's some cities where we're only onboarding drivers to be same day ASAP drivers with us rather than pre-scheduled drivers because the market's saturated. There's other places we really need drivers. It is so different by city, but I love what you're doing, bringing awareness to it. I love what you guys are both doing, bringing awareness to the opportunities, because people need to know about it, right? It can change some people's lives for sure.
And Nola, I call you Nola. I know your name, but
Yeah.
I like to tie it to the channel, right? All right. So Nola, like, when it comes down to your experience in DeliverThat, you said that there might not be a lot of drivers in your area. What makes you think that?
Well, I hear, comment after comment underneath videos where people, they feel like they call it a battle when they're trying to get a order. Mine, I can actually look at it, see where it's going, and accept if I want to. Apparently, people are, having to really hit that button real fast, or else their orders are gone. In my mind, I equate that to being less drivers looking at those orders in my area. That's the only explanation, right?
Okay. And Christian, can you confirm or like, is NOLA a new market that, there's not many drivers over there?
No, we've been in New Orleans for a little while now. But again, I would say that's probably, we look at it kind of like tiers, right? So down in Miami, that's like a tier 1 market, tons of deliveries, tons of drivers. New Orleans is probably a tier 2, tier 3 style metro for us, where there are less drivers. And again, that kind of ties back in. We're not trying to oversaturate it. So the experience sounds great as NOLA describes it, and we want all drivers to have that experience. And the reality is we're not trying to oversaturate New Orleans with too many drivers for the work that's available there. So
would you mind elaborating on just a little bit further on the tier 1, tier 2 markets?
Yeah, so if we look at it, right, there are really 30, I guess, metros that we would consider in that tier 1 for us. Couldn't rattle them all off, but pretty easy to imagine, right? The Philadelphias, the Chicagos, Miamis, Los Angeles. These are very busy markets from a catering standpoint. There's lots of businesses in those areas. And then in turn, we've put a lot of effort into making sure we have drivers staffed up in those areas. So for us, we're looking at it by delivery count on a weekly basis for what we would consider a top tier market.
Okay. All right. So there are some comments when I pretty much let everybody know that, I would be chopping it up with Christian and the Nola Grind. There are some comments people want answered, right? Some things that people really want me to address. It's not everything that I can bring up, because some of it is just kind of like, where I know that the team is working on fixing a lot of the issues. So it's like,
Mhm.
for the sake of the conversation, Christian, there is this new driver thing that, man, I just got on the platform and I can't get an order, right?
Yeah.
A lot of drivers say this, right? I want to hear the efforts that you guys are putting in to fix that.
Yeah. I think for us, first and foremost, it comes down to bringing you guys more business. A lot of my role has turned into onboarding our new restaurant partners. And for us, this is busiest time of the year for restaurants. More of them are coming on the platform. And I think for people who have been a part of the journey for a long time, or people that are new to their journey with Deliver That, it's important to understand we came from a place of by drivers for drivers, very heavily focused on the support that we're giving to drivers, and expanded really with one or two national partners, right? A marketplace that you guys are very familiar with if you drive with Deliver That, and then a couple other national brands that we expanded with. Now, since the, I guess, Q4 of last year, we've built out an internal sales team and are working really hard to diversify the offers you get. Work with more restaurants, give you guys opportunities that maybe you haven't seen in the past. And I really look at that as our next big effort is to continue to do so. A lot of this for us has been technology and making sure that restaurants don't have to sit down and manually type out the order to send a request in to Deliver That. And that's really where we were at until beginning of this year. We really started integrating with a lot of other places. So if you're following us online, you'll see that we're integrated with Bring, Olo, Easy Cater, Lunchbox. And this is allowing a restaurant to really just shoot us a message, hop on a quick call with us, sign up instantly, and start sending offers to you guys out in the field. So I know just this week alone, we brought on, I think, over 500 individual restaurant locations. And that was comprised of like 5 different accounts that we're bringing on. So yeah, I think for us, it's bringing more business. We talk a lot about the routing policies, how deliveries are distributed, and we can definitely get into that today. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, first and foremost, building out the technology so that restaurants can really turnkey sign up with Deliver That, and then us hitting the pavement and making sure we're bringing them onto the platform so you guys have more work.
So these restaurants that you're mentioning, right? Are
Yeah.
they 100% tipping types of offers, or is it gonna be like tip pool types of offers like Easy Cater?
Yeah, great question. So I think right now, of all the restaurant brands that we work with, there is one brand that essentially sets a static value on every order and just puts a tip on it. Every other contract that we have, it's just 100% of the customer place tip goes to the driver. And back to the integration piece, right? As soon as that order comes into their POS system or their online order management system, we need to be able to capture that and send it straight to you guys on the driver's side and capture that full tip. So for us, we're going at each contract now, making sure you guys are getting the full gratuity.
Just to clarify a little bit. Well, I need a little bit more clarification. You said you kind of like briefly mentioned that a restaurant would have a static amount and then they would add a tip to it.
Yeah, so what I mean by that, there's one restaurant that works with us in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a flat rate that they put on every single order, and that's what's shown to the driver as the gratuity, right? So every order comes in with a flat $25 assigned to the gratuity, and Deliver That effectively never sees what the actual tip was on these things, and they do that to
Wow.
make sure each delivery is paid out appropriately.
Oh wow, that's interesting. That is not something I knew at all. Nola, how
Yeah.
have you done any like direct partner deliveries in New Orleans?
No, But there was something that's in that same tip pool situation that I wanted to talk about as far as that. Now, when you're doing a third party, like through say DoorDash, for instance, when it says deliver that on DoorDash, how are those tips allocated? That was that was the big question I had.
So if you're driving on the DoorDash platform and then taking a delivery with DeliverThat.
No, so it comes up as DeliverThat on DoorDash platform. Like it's like I guess there's no drivers available, so they send it to the DoorDash platform. It's usually when I'm picking up a DeliverThat order. I'm gonna be honest. When I'm picking up a DeliverThat order from that same merchant, DoorDash will send me a DeliverThat order on DoorDash. That's happened a couple times now.
From that same merchant,
it's always been the same flat tip, which is I'm just trying to figure out exactly how those tips are allocated through DeliverThat and the DoorDash platform. If you don't know, I mean, obviously you probably don't, you might not know, but I was curious to know how that worked.
Yeah. So first, even just starting at the base, why do some DeliverThat orders go to DoorDash? We have them as a ASAP rescue option for us, right? So we're not pre-scheduling deliveries to go to DoorDash. We got to the point where working with these restaurants, we've realized they need a 100% solution, right? They can't get a phone call 10 minutes after the order was supposed to be picked up or 20 minutes before the order is set to be picked up. And we tell them, we don't have a driver to take this delivery, right? And we see various reasons why that pops up: late cancellations, a driver no-shows and forgets about the order, flat tire, car accident. You guys can imagine those reasons. So that's the why behind sending deliveries to DoorDash in general. I think that's important to articulate to you guys. We want the deliveries to go to our drivers every single time in a perfect world. And it's like single-digit percentages of our orders get tossed to DoorDash as overflow. The exact mechanism for how the tip's assigned, I'll be 100% transparent and say I'm not the tech guy, but I can say that the value, just even auditing orders and seeing some escalations that have come of this, the tips put in there before the order gets sent to DoorDash, and it is a different amount each time. Anything that would be in excess of that would then end up in the tip pool for all the ezCater orders inside of our network. Does that make sense? So if it's an ezCater order, I know a value's passed through. We don't necessarily know what the tip pool is going to be. So a tip's placed on the order to make sure there's never a tipless delivery going to DoorDash. And then anything that would be in excess, the tip pool comes in at $23. The tip on DoorDash was $20. That $3 extra would go into the normal tip pool for all drivers.
That makes sense. Okay.
Great question. I've seen some escalations happen as a result of DoorDash drivers talking to customers, things like that. And anytime that happens, we can always go back and make it right directly with that driver.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt, so let me know when y'all done.
Yeah, we're done.
No. I think that was a great question.
All right. So, Christian, I want to know, how is it, obviously every market is different, right? But I have a comment here that I'm going to read only a small portion of it because it's like a whole book, man. But I really want to hear your response to this comment. Then also, I'm going to put the comments on the screen from the chat. So get your questions ready. For all those that have questions or even statements you want Christian to see, or something relatable that Nola Grind can relate to or I can relate to as well. I know I'm on a different tier than everyone else, but at the same time, I'm still a driver. Okay, so I'm gonna read this comment, but again, I can't read the entire thing. Just to show you what it looks like. Look at this.
Oh goodness.
It's just too damn long. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read this comment. This is coming from a person's account called Giganomics. All right. They said, UDM, please ask him why a new driver on the DT platform should be motivated to even turn their app on, considering that it is nearly impossible to get an order due to their tiers: catering team, preferred driver, elite driver. I've been on the DT platform for over a month and have only been able to complete one delivery?
Yeah, I think for any type of questions that pop up like this, I think the market is very important. But I like to explain, I guess, the mechanics when you get onto our platform. So there are multiple tiers. You read out at least 3 of them. There's an additional tier called our trial tier. This is where new drivers go when they're onboarded for their first 7 days. It makes it more challenging to get multiple offers. And essentially, this is to protect and try to help the learning curve for a driver now that they're routing their own deliveries, right? So on DoorDash's platform or Uber Eats platform, they're not going to give you offers that conflict. But UDM, Nola, you guys have probably seen it where you'll see offers that are picking up at the same time and aren't logistically able to work together. So for the first 7 days that you're on our platform, you're in that lower tier, and that's sent to you through an email. And then there's a drip campaign on that 8th day when you get moved up into the catering tier. So I understand that could be demotivating, especially if you're in a really busy city or a really congested area, to get offers those first 7 days. What we realized, though, was that drivers would get onto our platform, start out at the normal catering tier, and they would essentially get themselves into trouble on our platform, and their account status would change because of the learning curve routing on our platform. So we're sending them help center articles, emails outlining the routing guidelines during those first 8 days, allowing them to see offers, but not necessarily offers that would conflict, to try to help that learning curve and make sure they can kind of ease their way into the platform. Now, being with us for a month and not seeing a delivery, I'm not going to sit here and act like that's a good experience, right? I would be incredibly discouraged if that was happening to me. I would say DELIVERTHAT's growing and scaling very quickly. If you stick with it and take the online quiz to become a preferred driver, stick it out with us in the long run and work your way up, I see lots of drivers making tons of money on our platform. I joke internally all the time that I'm going to move to Boston or Los Angeles, and I just want to be an elite driver with DELIVERTHAT. I say it all the time. I see drivers that are very successful on our platform. So that's how the process works when you first get signed up, and that does sound super discouraging, and I'd love to help that person directly.
All right. So since you mentioned preferred, going from the lower tier and then moving your way up to preferred, and you also mentioned two very busy markets, right? So if they're in their if you're in that market and you're not on DELIVERTHAT, then you might be missing out, right? But
100%.
But all right. So I have an audio recording that I got permission from the driver to share his experience from Detroit. Okay, I believe a lot of drivers can relate to this experience, but at the same time, I at least wanted you to hear it just in case you haven't heard it. Okay, so let me play that now, and let's just tune in really quick. Nola, ready?
I'm listening.
All right. I forgot to unmute it.
I'm listening.
All right, here we go. Right here.
Hey, my man. Hope you're having a good day. All right, so check it out. For the month of October, I did 21 orders. I pretty much accepted everything that I could get. So if it came through my app and I was quick enough to accept it, I would accept it. No matter where I was going, how far the drive was, how much it was paying, my goal was to get 25 so I can get preferred because I thought things were going to change. And the moment that I became preferred, I've gotten maybe 3 offers. I was quick enough to accept 2. And then one out of those 2, I had to give up 1. Last week I was sick. I wasn't feeling well and I had to give it up. But the crazy part is, bro, on the DAP, a lot of people are complaining about like it was better before they were preferred. At least preferred, I was getting one order a day. Like at least 1 offer per day, Monday through Friday. At least 1. It was in the morning. It was whatever. So my thing is, okay, if according to Sade, like it doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't. It's very disappointing, bro. It's because I'm like, even if I try to get to elite, you need 100 deliveries, then you got to get the invitation and stuff like that, right? And even if I wanted to do that, let's say it took me 4 months to do that, I can't even do that. I can't even give myself a chance to get elite because I don't get any orders. I don't get none. So it would be different, bro, if like this was if the way it is now was I call it the scrap pile. If during when I was in the scrap pile, if I was getting this type of stuff, it would make sense. But to get less offers as a preferred driver, that makes no sense to me. So it's very disheartening and disappointing. I really had high hopes that I would be able to get enough that I could, make this a legitimate source of income. But at this moment, bro, it's not even close. I've gotten 3 or 4 offers, and I've only been able to accept 2. In the 2 weeks that I passed that preferred test 2 weeks ago today. I was officially preferred Wednesday. What day was it? November 1st at 10:04 a.m. I became a preferred driver, and I've gotten 4 orders sent my way.
So what could have been the issue there? They go from receiving offers enough offers that they were able to get the amount of deliveries necessary to take the preferred test, and then when they get the preferred test, something changed.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one to hear feedback on. So I guess talking through how the offers are distributed to drivers at this point, our elite drivers are seeing deliveries up to 2 days in advance. They have a capacity that they can book, and they go through and do all of the routing themselves. Effectively, they have access to all of the orders as quickly as they're coming into the system. The preferred drivers, though, do see deliveries, especially pre-scheduled deliveries, well before then the next tier of drivers. So 24 hours before the pickup time, you're then starting to book deliveries, and it's kind of a tiered out hour by hour after that where they would start distributing to the tiers below. So I'm confident that there's a significant advantage in the preferred team. And I would want, again, to look specifically at where this person's located, what the weeks are that we're talking about, because catering really has some dips and valleys. And I've seen people have that experience after getting made preferred and then going right into a weekend and getting really discouraged, and then things turning around when we have a busy week. But yeah, I think that would be my only ability to speak to that, is that they're seeing them hours before they go out to the rest of the fleet. Now, if a delivery's scheduled 15 hours to pickup time, it's going to effectively go out to preferred and everyone below very quickly, right? So the pre-scheduled orders are really where you have an advantage as a preferred driver.
All right. Well, there are some questions that I know some people in the chat, they want to get answered. I tried to get at least as many as I can favorited, right? That's, I guess, the software I use. They gave me the chance to favorite the questions or to favorite the comments, so I could go to a specific tab and put them up on the screen. So let's get. I know there's like 3 callers in the queue. One has been waiting for 33 minutes. Oh my gosh, you guys got questions. Okay, all right. So let's get these comments up on the screen and let's roll through this. Okay. All right. So the first one I'm gonna put up is Dog Chapman saying, "I'm sad to say it's been a very disappointing experience. 1 to 3 orders a week is untenable. I'm still cautiously optimistic." How do you respond to that? Or Nola, I mean, are you having any of these types of experiences? No?
Kind of like what he was just saying, though, like with the preferred one. For one, you have to be, it's 90 days until you can take the test, right? Is that correct or no?
30 days. 30 days. Yeah, we didn't
So I'm about to take that
we
test.
didn't hear positive feedback about the 90 days, so that's a recent change.
Okay, great. I'm gonna take that test soon then, because I've been about it's been about 40 something days for me now, and I've had over 30 deliveries in that short span. But what I'm snap. Sorry.
Yeah, man, you got to knock yourself off the camera, man.
I kicked it. Anyway, so I think what he was saying is true, because some days seem like, oh man, they're just coming and coming, but it just gets slow. Just like any other app, just like any other thing, there's times where it's in excess, and there's times where it's just not coming right then. So yeah, I think we like when they switched over to the preferred, and they're like, yo, where's all the orders? It was a slow time for everyone. The elite people had a slow time. You know what I mean? So I think we just have to look at that, zoom out a little bit and look at it holistically instead of narrowing in on just that weekend. You know what I mean? So over the lifetime of you having preferred, you will be getting a lot more the way he's saying that the orders are distributed. I can't wait. I thought I had to wait 90 days. So I can't wait to take this test.
Yeah, we got to get you rocking and rolling. The thing too with this, just like catering education, right? And I think one of the first things you pulled up, UDM, was we're looking at somebody who's like, hey, don't tell people about catering, right? This is lucrative right now, and it can go downhill, right? As more and more people gain traction to this, it's really important that they're not going into it thinking, oh, catering gig platforms are just like DoorDash, right? We have some drivers who sign up with us, and they'll text us all day. Hey, I'm available. And they're looking for us to send them an order on demand. That's not how customers are ordering catering. That's not how restaurants are sending us catering orders. It's not an on-demand platform. And the, I guess, saturation of it, or the frequency of orders, is much lower as well. At 3 p.m., you're going to have people in offices all over America that are ordering one-off meals. It's not going to be your busiest time driving on other platforms, but there's work to be done. There's food to be delivered. For catering, you really have your 3 set times: breakfast, lunch, and dinner, where catering would be going out. It's very much a business-to-business transaction. There are events, graduation parties, things like that, but the learning curve is, hey, you will make more money taking catering deliveries, but you're not going to take 20 orders in a day. That's just not realistic, really, on our platform or any other catering specific platform. So we have to go out, we have to get more restaurants signed up, but ultimately that's the piece that drivers really need to understand when you go from rideshare or single meal delivery into the catering space, no matter what the catering platform is.
All right. Now, Aces High, I want to respond to Aces High. They said, oh, yeah, every time I am in Detroit City, I pretty much have to park illegally, allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $10 to park in the lots provided. Nonsense. Now, Aces High, DELIVERTHAT offers reimbursement for parking. Correct, Christian?
100%.
Okay, so even though I understand you don't want to pay $10 for parking, but if you happen to pay $10 for parking, you could just submit. There's a link at the bottom of the offer that you can click and then submit your reimbursements. And there's different types of reimbursements that you can submit. And once it's approved, you get that $10 back, and it's disbursed on your next pay, right, Christian?
Yeah, and that'll go out on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So whichever pay period it's in, you'll get that reimbursed, and it'll just be associated with that order as an adjustment.
Okay. Now, Johan Lopez says, "Hey UDM, can you ask about the no gratuity orders? I have been seeing more and more lately on DELIVERTHAT." So they're seeing, I guess. But let's first go through this, right? So you mentioned Bring, you mentioned a few, but I know about Olo and I know direct partnerships. You mind going through that list again off the top of your head?
Yeah, I think a couple that I called out was Lunchbox, which is like an online order management. You called out Olo, which again is kind of like helping the transaction and helping restaurants manage their websites. And then direct partners, right, that will use DELIVERTHAT's dashboard to submit delivery requests to us. For those different relationships, like we talked about, that's a full tip situation. So if you've been on the platform for a day or for a year, you know about our tip pool that we do with Easy Cater deliveries that go through Easy Dispatch. And we could talk a little bit more about that one. But to Johan's point, we do the tip pool effectively to protect drivers from those $0 tip orders. You should never take hundreds of dollars of food and not receive a gratuity for the delivery. But if partners have lower volume than that, a tip pool doesn't make sense, right? If we're taking 15 orders for a restaurant, some are going to have tips, some may not have tips. And even through other platforms, we see a large percentage of orders that still have $0 tips. My advice, and I think the industry is coming around and learning to this, those are deliveries you probably don't want to associate yourself with. So I'm not going to sugarcoat and say that you should be taking the $0 tip orders. But my last comment on that piece, no delivery will ever pay less than $20 on our platform. So it's easy to look and say, oh, look at these commissions X, Y, and Z. Before they get processed and paid out by our accountant, she's making sure that each of those deliveries is paying at minimum that $20. So you'll never have to look at an order and say, oh, I'm getting paid $7 to go 8 miles, etc. We will make that right on our side when it comes to processing payment. And there's a lot of interaction with our team where we'll add payment to deliveries for drivers.
So just to make sure that everyone heard this correctly, if you see an offer, Olo or direct partner, that says $7, Deliver That will make that 20. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
I got to get myself up on the screen for this. Like, we got to get bigger. Listen, I don't know what other app that would do this as of right now in this conversation that's going to go above and beyond to make sure you receive nothing less than $20 on their platform. If there's another one, there might be. I'm not going to say that I know all of them. But as of right now, I would say, Christian, that even as an elite driver, I was avoiding those, man. I was avoiding. When I saw it said $7, I'm like, and it says 0 gratuity. I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, I'm not taking that, you know? And I avoided those for that reason. And I know other drivers would avoid those. Like, for instance, even in my market, in the Miami, the Tri-County area, Miami-Dade, Broward County, and Palm Beach County, I would see those orders get dropped like that. As soon as I see like there's a 0 tip, I'm dropping it like that too. But it's like, whoa. Yep. But to hear now that Deliver That would be willing to at least add something to it so they can, that order is not going to pay less than $20. I'm like, whoa, okay. That makes more sense now. Okay. All right.
And I'll just to kind of add on to that conversation too, in our help center for drivers, you can search a restaurant's name and it'll describe to you how the pay works for that restaurant. So I know we have a diverse group here. There are a lot of cities still where drivers are getting signed receipts. So it's going to come in, it's going to tell you the base commission, any extra mileage commission. But that link at the bottom that we do all the reimbursements for tolls and parking, same link is used if you get an invoice that's signed by a customer, and that will then get approved, paid out to you on the next pay period, and you'll get a confirmation from us when we get that process for you. So I would lean into the help center. Every restaurant brand has an article in there, and it'll break down what you're going to be paid. So next time you get a $0 tip order, look it up in the help center. Make sure that that's something that's valid before you drop that order.
All right. Now, just a few more comments, and then we're going to take some calls. All right. First, I got to give a shout out to Dash of Life Hawaii for the $10 donation. Super chat. Appreciate you very much. What up, though, UDM, Christian, and Nola?
What's up, Dash of Life Hawaii?
What's up?
All right. And North in the Valley says, are you guys in Phoenix?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dash of Life Hawaii gave another 10. Oh my gosh. Christian, why should we deliver 1,000 to 1,500, I guess $1,500 worth of food for $20?
Yeah, great question. So deliveries over $1,000 are flagged in our system for our team to manually review these things. There's a lot of time where extra payment is added to these orders. I would tell you that delivering a $1,500 order for $20, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to be worth it, right? I've seen some scenarios where it's a couple of large boxes, it's an expensive restaurant, and it's just a drop and go, a mile away, things like that. 9 times out of 10, though, that's not going to be worth it. And I promise you on our side, we very much see it from the driver's perspective. So we're either adding pay so that it's more than $20 and there's fair compensation there, or On our platform, there's never an acceptance rate, right? I know a lot of other platforms, and UDM, I've seen some of your content around the acceptance ratings.
Yeah.
We don't have that internally, and we only want you to take a delivery that's advantageous to you as a driver.
All right, that's awesome. I'm glad you addressed that. How you feel about that, Nola?
Sounds good to me. I mean, I like not having to worry about that acceptance rate, man. It's a brutal thing to, even though I don't worry. Let's be real. I don't worry about it on any platform. Let's be real. But yeah, I don't want to have that to see it. Red. You know what I mean? That red looks ugly.
Yeah. And just being a dasher, right, Nola? I've noticed that a lot of dashers, when they make their way into the catering sector, right, and they get on Deliver That, it's almost like they come over with the dasher experience, expecting the same experience on Deliver That. And I know some people, especially when I did videos about Deliver That a while ago, maybe like a year and a half ago, people were against the tip pool, but they didn't really understand the entire scope of Deliver That, how they operate. I even had people reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, I see this offer, but it says accept, and I don't want it to hit my completion rate." Wait, what are you talking about? Like, no, this is not how it works. Accept it, look at it. If you want it, you keep it. If you don't want it, you drop it. But at the same time, there is a policy in place where the amount of time you need to be able to analyze that order and then drop it for another driver to see it. You can't just hold on to it and then drop it 5 minutes before pickup. Like but there are rules to it. But being a dasher, Nola, how was your experience going from being a full-time dasher and then finally getting on Deliver That, and you now have to understand this platform a little bit better? What was that like for you?
I mean, it really was second nature. Really, I'm a business minded person though. So if somebody thinking of it on a different level, like they're waiting on orders to come, they're not planning out their day. I can understand how routing can be difficult for some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to be fair, I've routed Deliver That orders with other catering orders because I know what to expect. I know the restaurant I'm picking up from. I know if they're going to be ready because you've had these experiences for 6 years. You know what I mean? You know if a restaurant is quick, you know how long it's going to take you to get to another spot. You allow yourself 20 minutes on each end of each part of it, and you just route away. You know what I mean? So some people make it more difficult than it needs to be. But I definitely understand the tip pool part. When I first heard that, I was, I don't know about that one. You know what I mean? But to not have to worry, to know you're going to be guaranteed anywhere from $21 to $27 on a tip. I haven't seen less than 24. So to know you're going to be guaranteed that on a tip can really ease the mind when taking these orders. Of course, you in the back of your head thinking, man, I wonder how much they really tipped. But don't think of it that way, because they also can tip zero.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it kind of evens itself out there for the tip pool.
Now, just one thing I want to put this question out there. It's something that's not in the chat currently, but there is this thought that, all right, so between catering platforms, at least with the ones that are popular, including Deliver That, right? There are some people that may feel like something is happening to their tip because on one platform it says this amount, and on Deliver That they're now going to be paid a lot less for that same offer that they saw on another platform. Would you mind going into that just briefly so we could take some calls, Christian? Because I know it is a tip pool, but just for the sake of the conversation, just explain that one last time, just in case some people missed it because they were on a delivery or something.
For sure. Yeah, for easy dispatch orders specifically, they'll say EasyCater _ as the identifier on our platform. These deliveries have a tip pool. So each one that you take during the pay period, it's going to have the same tip. The math behind that on our side all of the tips get put into a big bucket. We divide that by the number of completed easy dispatch orders during that period, and you get the same tip on each of those. So Nola called out, he hasn't seen this go less than $24. So I'll just use $25 as a round number. As many deliveries as you complete on our platform during your Monday through Wednesday period or Thursday through Sunday period, you could expect that each easy cater order specifically would have that $25 as the tip on it. When we process the payment and that period is completed, we then send out the disbursement reports, and it'll update in your app for the exact gratuity amount that goes on that. And there are certainly experiences. You're going to see Easy Dispatch uses multiple delivery service providers. You might see a $150 tip on this platform, and then at the end of the day, you got $25 from DeliverThat. I promise you a large percentage of these orders, and the driving factor for us doing that, don't have tips on them. And you won't take an easy cater order on our platform and not get somewhere between, $29, $35 is a very typical range for these things. So yeah, it's really just to protect against any type of non-tip orders and make sure they're all fairly compensated. On the large orders, that's where we'll go in, dialogue with the driver, change some compensation on our side to make sure on a $2,000 order, that is much more difficult than taking a $100 breakfast order that's effectively a drop and go. Mm-hmm. We'll go in and add payment to those large orders so that, yes, you're only getting the tip pool, but money then will come out of our pocket, our partner's pocket, to make sure that pay is significantly higher.
Okay.
If I could make
go ahead, Nola.
Suggestion, I don't know how much influence. I mean, I don't know you. I just met you just now, so I don't know the influence. But on the orders going to DoorDash, I feel like a tweak probably needs to be made. Only for the people. I mean, so if you are a DeliverThat driver, right, you know what to expect because you've seen it on DeliverThat. So when it comes up as a DeliverThat, and you deliver, like I delivered this food to a person that I've delivered to many, many times over 5 years. So I know she hits 20%, and then see only a $12 come through. I feel like it needs to at least be the bottom end of the tip pool for those orders and not a $12 order because it's, that's the only, as far as DeliverThat on the platform, perfect for me. Absolutely. It's my favorite platform right now. It really is.
Yeah.
But the ones that going through DoorDash, I think it just needs a tweak because in our minds, we see that as, that's a little jacked up because I'm used to DeliverThat orders. Just a heads up there.
Yeah, no, I think there's a great conversation to be had around that piece. For us, I'll tell you the only obstacle, and then maybe you and I can dialogue about this further too, because I think it is a great conversation. For us, we don't necessarily know what the tip pool is until the end of the week, right? And we're required, or if you put a $0 tip on a DoorDash delivery and you're using that as a rescue option and ASAP, hey, we need a driver as quickly as possible, we want to have that tip show up front, right? So I do think there's probably some tweaks and some changes that we can make with the dynamic there. But that's kind of our why, right? We want the Dasher to understand what they're going to be paid as soon as that offer is coming through to them and make sure we're transparent up front. And we don't necessarily know what that tip pool then will work out to be. So, yeah, I think that is a great conversation to have.
All right. So now I want to take some calls. All right. I put the limit of 5. I know some people probably got some questions. So I want to let every caller that's been on the line, whether you've been waiting for 53 minutes, 51 minutes, however long you've been waiting, I appreciate you for calling in, but we got to keep each call nice and short. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask the question, and we'll give you a little bit of time to get a response. And if there's one additional question, we'll give you some time to ask that additional question, but we're not going into a 15-minute, 30-minute conversation because I want everyone to get questions, to get their questions answered as much as possible. I know that there's DeliverThat in the chat. They're answering some questions there. And Christian, we only have a few more minutes. And when I say a few more minutes, maybe like another 35 minutes. So I need every caller to just be quick, hit, let's go. Next, So you ready, Christian?
Let's do it.
All right, let's take this first call. Thank you for calling. Who are we speaking to?
Hey, this is Wendy in Pensacola.
Hey, Wendy. Wendy, you talking to Nola and Christian and UDM. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, you guys. First, let me
Good
just
morning.
say that I'm going to keep this as quick as possible. Also, I acknowledge that change is difficult, and I know there are a lot of changes going on, and I try to be patient. I do love Deliver That, but let me get to my question. Okay, so here's my quick scenario. There's a group of us here in Pensacola, Florida. Not a large group, just a few of us, and we communicate. We help each other out. We share hot bags if we need to. We share carts if we need to. We communicate, hey, did you get that order? Did you see that order? And what we're finding is, as preferred drivers, we're all seeing different orders, and our proximity is probably a mile or so apart, just so you're aware of that. We're all seeing different orders. I personally am getting same-day orders only, and for November, I've completed 2 orders. And Christian, I don't know if you recognize my name. It's Wendy Butler, but I've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And for me to only get 2 orders in the month it's crushing. Why is it that we're in the same proximity, all seeing different orders and different types of orders?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, Wendy, thank you for being patient. I do recognize your name. I know you've been with us for a long time. You haven't always been in Pensacola, have you?
I have.
Okay, you've always operated in Pensacola with us. Okay. I think that for us, the biggest battle was stopping the ghost offers. And to do so, we've really relied on driver's current location for the radius. And we're very slow about scaling this. So when I say that, I mean when a delivery comes in and offers to the preferred team, it starts out with a very, very tight radius, and then we'll begin expanding pretty quickly. So I'm encouraged that at least that is being effective, and you guys aren't all necessarily seeing the same offer the same second and overly competing for it. Pensacola is also a very small area for us. So I think the radius piece is what's really impacting you guys seeing different offers because it is so tight. I also think we just need more business in Pensacola. So I'm happy to look through some things and maybe give you a call off air here too so we can talk through it and just look at what's going on in that area.
Awesome. Okay, that would be great. It's I know the orders are out there. You know, we do our research a little bit. We kind of ask around when we go into restaurants, and we know that it's, you know, it ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
So we understand that, but just curious how I can go from, you know, 17 to 35 orders in a month down to 2 with these new changes. I'm hanging in there, but it's tough.
For sure.
By the way, I begged for Elite Driver for months. I have offered to come up to the office and hang out and work and learn. Find me a way. Help me get Elite.
I think you might be talking to the right person. Yeah, I think you might be talking to the right. I'll give you a call here probably this week during the weekday, and let's chat a little bit more because I do know you've been with us for a long time. I want to clear it up for you. And for us, we really are trying to build out, I guess, more so the partnership than the support side when it comes to driver experience. So there will be a lot more drivers who are receiving the invitation to become Elite. We've run a lot of numbers. There are some fantastic people on our platform. And I love what you called out. It sounds like you guys have a small community down there where you're sharing gear, you're sharing wagons, you're exchanging information about orders. I love to hear that, and I want to see how we could help make this the best experience possible for those people that are taking it so seriously like you are and being patient with us. So thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. And I will let the next caller hop on. Thank you for taking my call, UDM. Nolan Christian, pleasure.
No problem.
Thanks so much.
All right. So you have a great day. And I will tell you, Wendy, that you and another driver in the area, I brought up your name a lot. Okay. I brought up your names a lot because I do know you, just to make sure I'm correct here, weren't you on the driver spotlight?
I actually was.
And you know, I believe Wendy has been on the platform a lot longer than I have. You know, so
I believe I was the first driver in Pensacola, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow. So to hear that Wendy has been having a little bit of an issue, not a little bit, but a lot of bit of an issue in the area, and being one of the first drivers in Pensacola and being on the driver spotlight, it does, you know, make me feel some type of way that, you know, she's been having a rough time, you know. So hopefully everything gets worked out, Wendy, and your experience change after this call.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day.
All right, you too.
Thank you, Wendy.
All right, let's take the next call.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, so this driver has been on the line on hold for 1 hour. So the dedication. Talk to us.
Bro, I'm listening to it like a podcast on the phone. It's no worries at all, man.
Okay.
Man, there is so much going on. I will try to be brief. It sounds like Delivered might be edging into the easy catered type sphere with these direct orders and then deferring to DoorDash. You guys buried the lead with that $20 minimum. I don't know how many of us are dropping orders that don't show up as $20. You know, by the way, to be fair, Delivered has always had a $20 minimum. But anyway, it's UTH.
Okay.
Here's my question, and in combination with my experience, so that hopefully I don't have to do a follow-up or use anybody else's time who's waiting on the line, is as DeliverThat scales, what have the conversations been like to not dilute the relationship to the drivers? Like, and then I'll use my experience as the example for that, right? So I scheduled what would be a stacked order, 2 restaurants right next to each other, delivering 3 miles apart, probably, 5 minutes or whatever. In the past, I would have got an email if your system flagged the conflict, or a text. I would have gotten a text the night before, or at least the morning of. This morning, I woke up and one was just taken away. I didn't have the discretion of which one to take away. And when I called in, if it would have been back in the day when I was talking to Philip, or even just a little while ago when I was talking to, probably, let's say, somebody like Matt, they would have told me, hey, man, don't drop that second order out of spite because it's going to drop your preferred status. But with the algorithms and the new people that weren't necessarily drivers and the new people that aren't like DeliverThat OGs, the conversation went a different way. And long story short, I am now a trial driver. So that's my question, just to reiterate. As you guys scale, as more technology is employed, and as you guys have frontline employees that have way less knowledge base of the industry, what are you guys doing to keep that direct connect to that by drivers for drivers?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I appreciate you sharing your experience. Was that this morning that this took place? No.
That was, I don't know, a few weeks. Oh, that's the other thing, dude. Your change to the standards, I thought I was still golden because the old standards used to be you can't have 2 violations within the last 90-day period and all that stuff. Like literally 2 or 3 days after my status got dropped all the way down, you personally posted the new standards to the DAP, to the driver assistance portal, where it says there are certain violations you just can't have. And you know what I mean? Those standards got raised. And I think maybe my account was judged by the new standards as opposed to what I was operating under. And I dropped the second order out of spite. And it was 2.5 hours until the order needed to be done. And I definitely wouldn't have done that if Philip had told me, yo, bro, what are you doing? Don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's, unfortunately, that wasn't the conversation that was going on because, it's not old school anymore. You guys are big. You got a lot to handle. So I'm just wondering what the conversations are like, because I remember what the experience was with DoorDash out of Wisconsin or whatever, when they were a locally based call center, versus DoorDash now, which are like a despised company among drivers, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, great questions to ask. For us internally, all of our drivers, or not all of our drivers, all of our employees will continue to take deliveries when they get started so that they understand the app. But I like what you called out there, the Deliver That OGs. A lot of us started out, and really the leadership team on our side started out as drivers all the time. So hundreds and hundreds of deliveries, really understood the industry. And then we started building this thing, or we would go out and we've found and hired drivers who were gig workers with us, gig workers on other platforms, and just come with that wealth of knowledge of what it's like out in the field. As you grow, of course, it gets tougher and tougher to do those things. But internally, we're still going through, hey, we need to take a couple of deliveries. You need to see what it's like to effectively take a stack or take a route, and understand the pain points that pop up along the way. So I'm confident we're doing that with all of our team. The people you listed out, I think you called out Matt and called out Phil. We're still all in this Canton call center here, working out of our office right here every single day. Those two people are still with us and deal with routes.
And dude, like Lisa and Heather and everybody is good. I mean, even by any kind of experience in the gig economy that I can judge to, maybe the best comparison would be early Lyft, the way they had drivers' backs. Everybody's good, man. But, you know, there's a difference between being an OG and taking a few deliveries a month. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Just to follow up, I know I said I wouldn't follow up. For me personally, I am making my argument that you guys weren't always my top priority, but I have to respect the volume. I've seen the change in my month-to-month and week-to-week income. So it just, mea culpa. If there's anything that maybe I can do to get my status back, you definitely there will be no more spiteful operations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know it's
no doubt at all. And do you mind sharing your name? Did you share your name early on and where you're from?
Brian, UDM knows who I am.
Well, I know. Cool. I'll share his name with you.
Cool.
He goes by UTH on here. UTH.
I like it.
It's too public, man. He's got too many viewers, man.
All right.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I appreciate you reaching out.
No worries. That $20, you guys should do like a little YouTube short and stuff like that. You guys should say, hey, listen, guess what, guys? There's a new minimum. You see that $7 at $17 for those Olo orders? They're a new partner with us. We want their orders taken care of. So guess what? We're taking care of you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
100%.
I always appreciate you guys doing something like this. Does show your dedication. I got to be fair. And if I got to make you guys priority number one in order to get my income up, that's what's going to happen.
I love it, man. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Well, you have a good one. I will share that your information with Christian since you asked. So he could, I guess, you want me to send him your number? I don't know.
Everything, man. Everything you got on me. Send me the whole file.
Including the car you drive?
Yeah, everything.
Your social security?
Sure, whatever. Yeah.
All right, bro. I'll definitely share that information. All right.
Hey, man, much love.
All right. Really. Have a good one. All right. Before I take the next call, Christian, I don't know if the NOLA, if you received a text message that says this, but I do want to just briefly get an answer from you, Christian, where I remember someone contacted me, felt like they were being almost chastised by or not really chastised, but it's kind of like almost feeling like, well, why are you trying to violate me type of deal where the text message when the wait time is added, right? I'm just going to read it out loud. Hi, Brian, your wait time pay has been added on. If this is inaccurate, let us know ASAP. Inaccurate wait pay can result in a violation. Have a great day. Have you received this, Nola?
No, I haven't
All right.
received that at all.
All right, no wait time. But I remember it used to just say, "Hey, your wait time has been added, Brian." Right? Would you mind just briefly going into the additional line about resulting in a violation? Like,
Yeah,
what?
for sure. And
Go
maybe
ahead.
we take a look at exactly how it's worded so it doesn't seem like we're chastising. I'll tell
Mhm.
you, especially working with really closely with our restaurant partners and expanding those relationships. A
Mhm.
big thing that we're doing right now is sharing data with them that would help them improve their operation, right? So
Right.
weekly reports that say, hey, here's all your wait times, here's the restaurants that had them. That way they can coach their team. Do we need to schedule more people? Do we need to arrive earlier to prepare caterings? We're
Mhm.
trying to bring down the number of wait times you guys are experiencing as much as possible and really help these restaurants, help you guys route more deliveries together and do it pretty seamlessly, right? So as we go through that process, there have been numerous examples, I will say, of drivers who have marked arrived that are in the parking lot or things to that nature and will come in at the 15th minute. They'll have a 2-minute interaction with the store, take the food. Probably in their mind, they know they're still going to make it on time to the customer. For us, then, we're flagging that as, hey, they've been on site and the restaurant wasn't ready with food. And we're trying to add those wait times as quickly as possible. So this is really not anything to chastise the driver. It's so that we don't have scenarios where we're charging the restaurant an adjustment amount, passing that to you as the driver, and you know in your mind that you sat in the parking lot for 13 of the 15 minutes, or you sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes and then entered the building and are getting compensated for it. So really that's just directed for drivers who are manipulating the system, so to speak. We want to be by drivers for drivers, but we want to bridge that gap between drivers and restaurants and make sure that relationship is mutually beneficial and everybody's winning.
Okay. All right. So I never took it as anything, right? But I
Yeah.
always knew when it comes down to certain things, you guys don't just add certain things or do certain things unless something happens. you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
something had to happen. And hey, everybody, one bad apple spoils the bunch, right? It's like somebody somewhere takes it upon themselves to do something beyond the scope of what we should be doing while on an order, and it deliver that has to do what they have to make sure that, hey, you know what, we can't let this type of thing happen, so now let's make it more general for everyone to see, right? And I've never taken this text message as you guys chastising me. I took it as, you know what, if I'm over here gaming the system,
Then I would take it some type of way.
I might get a violation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, no, I don't try to game the system at all. I'm actually trying to get my money and give me what I'm owed. And that's it.
Yep.
So let's take the next call here. All right. Boom. Just 3 more calls in the queue, and then we're gonna close the lines. Okay. All right. Thank you for calling. Who are we speaking to?
Hi, UDM. This is Paul. I go by Gigonomics. You read a small portion of my comment earlier.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you called in, Gigonomics. Yeah, it was a paragraph,
Thank
man. I
you.
couldn't read all that. I'm sorry.
No problem. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of explain how I'm feeling, but appreciate you coming on, Christian. I just want to ask you, what you would recommend, like UDM said, I've been on for about a month, and basically the way it goes is like the way I was able to even get that one job is that I have to have the app open at all times on my phone and up. I was literally driving down the freeway and happened to look down at my phone when the alert went off, and I hit it and got it. But other than that, it's virtually impossible to accept an order here in my area. I'm in Sacramento, California. So, I mean, what do you think? I'm just really trying to determine whether I should even just continue on with this, or if it's not something that's really viable here for me.
Yeah, I mean, Sacramento's still a growing area for us. So like a few other markets, it's, I guess, newer quote unquote, on our platform. So we'll continue to grow the volume. But when it comes to best practices in the app, and UDM, I think you and I had this conversation a while back when we first updated these policies. I would recommend looking for deliveries at the time of day that you're expecting to take them for the next day. So breakfast offers, looking in the morning, looking at the lunchtime. And also, I do think it's good practice to have it on while you're doing other deliveries, just knowing that our platform isn't necessarily sending a lot of ASAP offers to drivers. But if you're out at a restaurant or in a downtown area of your metro and you have the app on, well, now you might be in a more frequent catering area or zip code for your major metro, and that'll help you get offers there. So having it on when you're going to other places, but also looking the night before and the time of day that you want to be taking these offers. So that would at least be my advice, is check early mornings, because anything that's left over now has a much larger radius. If you're looking to book yourself some lunch or afternoon offers for that day, the morning can be beneficial, but also looking at the time of day in which you're planning to book your orders. So yeah, Paul, you're another one. I'll definitely expect anyone who's engaged with our platform on a level like this, you're calling, leaving those type of comments and things. I'll try to take a look at your account there in Sacramento and see if I can reach out to you and we can work through it.
All right. I appreciate it. My last name is Jordan.
Jordan. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for calling us, Paul, and for being such a part of this.
I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Thank you. Yeah, I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you, UDM. I appreciate you.
Not a problem, man. Right. And thank you for expressing yourself. I hope you didn't feel no type of way that I did not read your entire comment, but I'm glad you called in.
I was just excited that you read a portion of it. I know it was long, but I was trying to get the full flavor of what was going on here for me.
Yeah, no problem. Definitely. All right. So thank you and have a good day. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Paul.
All right. So let's take the next two calls. Well, not at the same time, but let's take the next call. All right. Thank you for calling. Who are we speaking to?
Man, it's Jay from NOLA, bro.
Say that again. You sound a bit. I don't know if you guys heard him.
Oh, I think it's Josh from NOLA. Y'all can hear me?
Josh. Oh, Josh from NOLA. NOLA Grind. You got somebody else? Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
My question to Christian would be: do y'all ever see yourself upgrade to like an overseas call center?
An overseas call center?
Yeah. Kind of like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all that.
Are you asking, do we have an overseas call center, or if we ever will?
If y'all ever would in the future.
Like in the future, I guess what I'm hearing is, okay, so DeliverThat's call center is U.S. based, correct, Christian?
It is.
Okay, yes. So I guess what he's asking, will DeliverThat ever upgrade? Well, I don't know if, ever upgrade to international call center?
I never want to speak in definites. The world changes all the time, but I do not see that as a realistic option for us ever. We're really big on what our office culture is like and a focus on having great support for our drivers. So it's something we love to be a part of every single day. I'm in the same building with everyone else who's on the phones taking live calls. Our CEO's in that same building. It's something we really take a lot of pride in. So never absolutes in life, but no.
All right.
All right.
You got some more time if you want to ask another question. Go ahead.
That's all I had to ask, because Nola pretty much asked him the question that I had a question for with the DeliverThat or the son's DoorDash, but I mean, he explained it, it made sense, and that's why I see the full price. But sometimes I get orders thinking me DeliverThat orders and it's not. It's just regular DoorDash orders.
Yeah, your audio sound. I don't know if you guys heard what he said, but I think he said Nola asked a lot of the questions from his area that he wanted answered. So that's all he had to ask. Right, Josh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, no problem, brother. Well, all right. So since you don't have any other questions, thank you for calling, and I'll take the next call, okay?
All right.
All right. Have a good one, brother.
Thanks, Josh.
You too.
All right. Let's take this last call in the queue. Thank you for calling. Who are we speaking to?
Hey, UDM, is this me?
Oh, I know this voice. I know this voice.
Hey,
Yes.
it's Matt Maloney.
Yeah.
It's Matt Maloney. It's everyone's favorite former gig CEO. I left my job with GRUBHUB, and now I'm looking to do some catering work. I want to get back in business, man.
Oh my gosh! Hold up! I'm having a moment. I can't stop blushing, Christian. So what you don't know? All right. So since I've been doing these live streams,
Gotta fill me in.
yeah. I gotta fill you guys in, right? Including you, Nola, right? Since I started this live stream back years ago, right? Breakfast with UDM, I had someone call in and acted like the CEO of GRUBHUB, and this is the voice right here. And I didn't know. At one point, I was like, wait, is this him? So he's calling in, and I heard the voice, and I was like, oh, I know this voice. So I appreciate you calling, man. Haven't heard from you since then.
Hey, Brian.
Wow.
Yeah, well, hey, I've been in the chat still, and even when I didn't do delivery work for a couple of years, I was still watching, during the entire time, during the pandemic, everything. Okay. You've always been great, and this shows the perfect example of it, having a great, company like DeliverThat on here, where we can get a good amount of information. I'm actually looking to get into catering with them. I'm halfway through the sign-on process.
Okay.
And, so basically, I'm just trying to figure out where to tether myself to, because I moved to a smaller city. And if my research was correct, I believe, Christian, are you guys based in Canton, Ohio?
Yes, that's where our headquarters are.
Okay, yes. So I was thinking, I'm from Ohio, and I currently live in Marion, Ohio. So we're talking about a city of like 40,000. Given your proximity, I was kind of wondering if you would have like a special insight into, where would be best to set yourself as a catering driver, when you're kind of in between markets in a smaller city like that.
Yeah, will you repeat what city you're in? I got somebody who's going to help me out.
It is in Marion, Ohio.
Marion.
Yeah, so a little southwest of Canton.
Come on, y'all can't be in Canton and don't know where Marion is. No?
It must be a real small city.
Yeah, it's pretty. I have never heard of it.
Wow.
So how hour outside of Columbus to the north of it?
So we're about an hour. We're about an hour north of the Columbus market. Below us to the south is Delaware, and then Canton would be to the northeast of me. And so basically, when I was signing on with you, and I'm halfway through the process, went through all the testing and things like that, and I was about ready to buy the package with the catering bags and just run the MVR right away. And I was thinking, well, man, I really should get in touch with these guys and figure out where I should actually tether myself to. Because like anyone, I mean, we drive plenty as it is. We're not looking to necessarily commute, heavy miles each and every day. But then at the same time, 1, 2, 5 of these per week can be massively helpful. And then as we help improve the business, through great service, anything that we can do to help, get more business, always keep that in mind too.
Yeah, great question. I mean, I think from my perspective, you're going to want to tether to either a Columbus or a Canton. And I believe there's more business to be had in the Columbus area. So if you're going to tether to one or the other as you're signing up, that would just be my personal opinion. What I will say, though, is you're able to toggle between cities. You just shoot us a text message and we can move you between them. So if you have a trip coming up and you're going to be in the Columbus area or in the Canton area, you could toggle between those two metros. And for us, we group all of Northeast Ohio together. So anyone that this would be applicable to, Canton, Akron, Cleveland, even Youngstown, Ohio, are all in a big pool. And then you can kind of seamlessly travel between those cities and receive offers. So not sure that that's the greatest answer in the whole world, but that would be my thoughts on where to tether yourself and give you some knowledge that you can change between them.
Yeah, Christian, I really appreciate that. And I'm hoping that this is indeed also helpful to other drivers in any part of the country, in a similar circumstance where you're in a smaller city, like mine's about 40,000 population, and you're about an hour, drive to the nearest major metropolitan area. So, so just a good idea to figure out how you can find yourself fitting into that scenario and being able to, do some of these valuable catering orders for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And on our side too, and this is really for all drivers, if you do live significantly far outside of an area, you can always reach out to us directly and kind of nudge us along. There are zip codes that we could be servicing, and we just don't have them turned on right now with some of our partners. So we can obviously look at your exact area and then compare that to our list of available zip codes with the partners we currently have and turn some things on. So never shy away if you're in a smaller area. It might take some time, but if you're communicating with us and sending us over the suburb names around you, we can always take a look on our end and keep growing together.
Okay, yeah, that's great too. If you find yourself with a reliable driver or two or three, within a market, you can potentially reach out and say, hey, we have somebody. So if Easy Cater is getting orders there, for instance, I was picking up from a Penn Station the other day, a small order. And I was asking if they were getting catering orders, and one of the gentlemen there said yes, and that he was actually delivering them himself, and not even getting reimbursed for it or something like that. It was kind of odd. It was a little bizarre, and I was wanting to get back in and speak with him about that. So essentially, orders come in through various platforms, and depending on the partnerships, you can potentially find yourself with available drivers that you can utilize.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm really glad you brought this up because I think this applies to a lot more people than just yourself. So I really appreciate it, and we'll try to turn on some zip codes. And now we're aware of Marion.
Yeah, thanks, Christian. Thanks, Nola. I appreciate you being here too. Thank you, Brian, for hosting the show, and Darian Terrell. That was very cool that he showed up as well. CEO of the company. So hey, you guys have a great day. Thanks again, and enjoy your weekend.
All right, brother. You have a great one. You put a smile on my face, man. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you as always. And talk again sometime soon.
All right. No problem, brother. All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So since that was the last call, we're going to close the lines. And I want to put some questions. Not necessarily questions, but there are some things. Just a few comments here that I want to put up on the screen that didn't get any love, right? Not everyone I'll be able to do, but got to show love to Dash Your Life Hawaii for the $20. Another $20. I guess he had to go, but he wants me to share his contact information with you, Christian. I don't know what the question is. He said, for Christian, can you pass him my number? I gotta go. It's wartime. He does a lot of DoorDash. All right. Also, Nathaniel Daniels, just to answer you directly, what are the best times of day to be active on the platform to get orders? Early mornings and between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All right. So Christian, he briefly addressed it. Not really addressed, but he briefly mentioned that he suggests that you look at the time that you wish to work the next day. All right. So, for instance, if you want to receive offers for 10 a.m. tomorrow, you should look at 10 a.m. today. 2 p.m. tomorrow, look at 2 p.m. today. And that's pretty much it. If you want early morning offers, let's say, what's the earliest, Christian? The earliest I've seen is maybe about, I think 550 or something around there. What's the earliest offers you've seen?
Yeah, I think the day typically kicks off around 5:30. We'll have some 5:30 deliveries. Yeah,
I saw 5:15 the other day.
You saw 5:15?
Yeah.
What was it? Bagels, eggs?
Bacon? It was some. It was from our PJ's Coffee. So there's some coffee stuff. Also, a tip, guys, that I would recommend. I know people talk about sometimes if you look into the app, it's not blue. Make sure it is toggled on. I mean, that's one of the because it can go ghost mode on you sometimes. So make sure that is toggled on or else you're not going to get anything anyway. So keep that in mind. I always keep an eye on that, throughout the day.
All right, awesome.
Nola, really funny story for you guys. We were just in Salt Lake last week, and we had 2 different drivers come in, and we were there for like Q&A, meet with a restaurant partner of ours, and then answer any questions drivers had, right? We love meeting face-to-face anytime we get the opportunity. And these 2 gentlemen were really upset. I'm not seeing offers. And we have a chance to sit side by side. I pull up their accounts, and neither of them had marked available in the app for over 2 months. So it's just like a disconnect of like,
Wow.
the app's open on my phone. Why am I not getting offers? That's a great call out, Nola. That's a great call.
Sure. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
And I just want to give a shout out to Cody Stevens. I'm in Findlay, Ohio. When you coming here?
Yeah, another small area. We actually have some friends from Findlay. We're always open to it. So reach out to us directly. We can take a look. And even if you're getting signed up for the platform, you can text us and we can look into, is it a possibility for us to get something propped up there and start taking catering orders if we partner with you directly to get things off the ground. So great question. We can work through any of those small little areas in the country.
All right. How did you pronounce it? Because I'm from South Florida, and I did not say it how you said it. How you said it?
Findlay. Am I saying that right, Vic?
Findlay.
Yep.
I said Findlay. Okay. Can you tell I'm a tourist? Like, I'm not from there. All right. Like, how you say? All right. I used to say New Orleans. Okay. So is it New Orleans, Nola, or is it New Orleans?
People here say New Orleans or Nolans. It depends on who you're talking to.
Nolans. Wow.
Yeah. I usually say New Orleans. So
New Orleans. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Adam Gwynn says Toledo, Ohio here. Love and DT looking to be preferred driver soon. All right. So
Love it.
You got drivers in Toledo. But I gotta give my take from an elite driver status. I want to give a suggestion. Well, not really a suggestion, but there is something that's been happening as an elite driver. When I'm on an offer, and I'm pretty sure anyone that's on an offer in their area is busy enough might experience this. Is there a way, or just to give some feedback, Christian, nothing is more annoying to me than when I'm actually trying to handle the order that I'm on, and then a new order comes in and just takes me off my screen, and then I got to go back to it, and then it just depends on how busy it is at the time. Another one comes in, I'm getting pulled off the screen, and then I'm just trying to finish this, and then it just takes me off the screen so many times. Is there a way for you guys to like fix that, or like isolate the account that's on an active order from receiving offers?
So there's not with our current application provider that's powering all things. I will say this week, actually, this past Thursday, our head of product went on a route and went and took 3 orders here in Northeast Ohio so he could see how it functioned back to back to back. And he's working really hard on mapping out next year, us beginning the process of building our own application for drivers, right? So no super strict timelines. It's definitely a complex undertaking, but there will definitely be lots of surveys sent out. A lot of the OG DeliverThat members have done tons of deliveries with our current app provider. So we'll make sure that that's something that is configurable when we get that built out.
All right. And as we begin to wrap it up a little bit here, I want to show some love to Darian. Right, Darian says, UDM, love this. Appreciate you hosting this transparent Q&A. I appreciate y'all just even wanted to have this conversation. I saw a comment here, Christian, and I appreciate it so much. When I saw this, I'm trying to find it, but basically what they were saying is they appreciate you guys coming on and having a real conversation with us, because it kind of lets them know, like, oh, you guys really do care, right? It's hard to get a CEO or any representative from a company that we use as a platform to make money, to get them onto our platforms and to talk or engage with us and just be be there to answer the hard-hitting questions, whatever they throw at you. As you guys heard in the beginning, I asked them to be real and respectful. So I know, Christian, I couldn't prepare you for this, Christian. I didn't know what they were gonna ask.
No,
you know?
I love it. I just love that we can have these dialogues with our drivers, right? I mean, last week in Salt Lake, it was so cool to sit down with people and just have real one-on-one conversations, real group discussions about what drivers are experiencing out in the field. We're going to continue to do more and more of that. So I think it might have been the gentleman from, I'm not sure which city, but somebody was talking about how do you make sure you don't lose that, personal connection and experience with your drivers. That will always be put first and foremost with us. So we're going to continue to build out the side of our business that's really communicating and building deeper relationships, right? The platform's not going to be perfect, but we'll never shy away from those things. We want to hear the feedback and get better every day with you guys.
Now, I just put up, I'm going to get back to the Driven Dad's comment, but I just wanted to show this. Robin Hankins said, I'd love to have had time to call in and speak of the good. That disappeared, right? Speak of the good ideas a restaurant manager gave and how they want to partner with DeliverThat. I think what would be the best way for Robin to get this information to you, Christian, or anyone from DeliverThat?
There's someone called GigWise in the chat too that's asking about
I got Ben.
email marketing at ideliverthat.com. Anyone who's had issues about tiers, there's like Bud Soda, someone called Hop.
Is he talking to you or us?
Yeah. He said that there were some people in the chats who have had like issues with their personal accounts, and they can all email marketing at ideliverthat.com, and he's going to sift through those and go to the right place. For Robin, we have lots of drivers like this who will try to sign up restaurants to our platform. A lot of it right now is just having them go to the website. I know we've onboarded a couple of restaurants from an elite driver in Los Angeles who has referred some restaurants. So yeah, that it really just through our website is the best way for a restaurant to sign up. But Robin, if she's trying to communicate information, can use that same marketing at ideliverthat.com email, and we'll sift through anyone who wants to reach out to us about today's event specifically. GigWise, we got a shout out from our marketing coordinator over here. GigWise, reach out to us.
All right. You got something, Nola? I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. So the Driven Dad gave me some suggestions that I actually shared with, I forgot who I shared it with at DeliverThat, but I don't know. Okay, so I'll just pretty much briefly share what the Driven Dad shared with me. So I believe every driver would love to have everything automated to the point where instead of the orders being dropped into a pool and whoever gets it, whoever claims it first gets it, a lot of drivers would prefer that it isolates each account and offer that specific driver that offer, so there's less tension of, oh, I gotta grab it, oh, I'm not gonna see it, the discouraging feeling of, it's gonna go anyway, I'm not gonna even try, right? They suggested just each account seeing the offers solely for a period of time, and if they don't respond within a period of time, it then goes to another account. And then if it gets declined or whatnot, it goes into the pool for anyone to grab it.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And it's something we've looked at trying to do. I don't think the default out of the box policies that we're working with right now are going to be the route to do it. And it's going to take some real engineering time to make sure that that's configured correctly. It's a big undertaking for us. It's a huge change for you all as drivers with us. Anytime we change the way offers are distributed, and obviously the efficiency, the internal operations of our business are really dictated by the way jobs are going out. So it's not something we take lightly, but I have heard that feedback from lots of drivers, and I do think that is the direction we'll move in the future.
Okay. So just to clarify, you're saying that there might be a possibility in the future, don't know when, that it might operate in that manner?
Yes. So I like to talk about the big picture and the direction more so than timelines, because as with any company that you work with, the technology piece, right? You can set out and say, hey, our deadline's summer of 2024, and you hit one snag, and that turns into winter of 2025 when it comes to some of these larger tech things. And we have a lot of really cool things in the works for the restaurant and the driver side, the app being one of them for us to control that, and then obviously continuing to refine these offer policies for you guys as drivers. So no timeline, but that is the direction. We definitely have heard the outcry of, hey, we want to see these things for a set amount of time and not have to compete with all the drivers that are around us. So we'll keep chipping away.
All right. We already got some feedback. Some people don't even want that, Christian. Hey, and this is something that I deal with, Nola. Hey, well, I don't know. Have you ever dealt with, like, some on one side people want this and the other side people want that, and it's like you're only one person, and how can you make it appealing for both sides? It's like one side wants specific offers, and then Josh says, I don't like that idea.
Yep.
Dispatch can show bias towards a driver like they do on Delivered.
Yeah, if we move in this direction, when we would move in this direction, we won't have our dispatchers sitting there manually selecting which drivers it would be sent to. That will never be in the cards for us. So there won't be a bias from like a human standpoint.
All right. And the UDM producer, I got to produce it, Christian. All right. Just to put the email up there, because I did block, well, not necessarily block, but I have links being hidden from my channel, mainly because a lot of people would just put their like referral links and all these different things on my channel, and I just stopped it. So just to share the email that was mentioned, sales at DELIVERTHAT.com. Sales, so the @ sign, not AT. Okay. But
yeah, that one would get through to us. I think we prefer marketing at IDeliverThat.com. So the I is very important.
Okay. So can my producer put it in the chat? Please. Marketing at IDeliverThat.com. Okay.
Yes.
Matter of fact, you know what? Let me just put it in there. Marketing, since my links won't get blocked, right?
There we go.
Marketing at IDeliverThat.com. Just to make sure I got this right. Marketing at IDeliverThat.com. Boom. I just put it in the chat. If you want to, what's the purpose of this email? Just to make sure.
Really, for any comments that came up today, that's a good way for us to know, hey, this came from the UDM live chat. We'll get it in the hands of the right people. But restaurant referrals, zip codes we should be turning on. We've talked to some people who are having very account-specific problems. We'll make sure that gets in the hands of the right people, and we'll know it came from this event.
Okay. All right. So I appreciate both of you gentlemen for joining me on this, how long? 1 hour and 44 minute live stream. I appreciate y'all because I know a lot of drivers in this space, they want transparency. Nola, I appreciate you keeping it 100 and just sharing things from your perspective and your market, and really even giving some suggestions as well. I haven't received any offers on DoorDash from the Deliver That thing, but I did see someone shared a screenshot with me, and I was like, wow. I felt the same type of way. I'm like, wait, what? They're using DoorDash to deliver their stuff. I'm like, what? And then to see a video that you did, I was like, oh, so this really is a thing. All right, well, I'll wait for mine. I haven't seen one. But I'm like, okay, I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad that you had your own questions from your perspective and your market. I know that not everyone is having the same experience across the board. And I cannot speak for everyone when I say this. I know I'm an elite driver, but at the same time, and I'm not trying to speak for Deliver That when I say this, but volume is not the same in every market, right? Christian, I saw you shake your head, right? Yeah.
Amen. And it's not the same week
Okay.
to week in the same market, right? It's
Right.
very volatile for sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm glad that he agreed with me on that. Some markets may or may not have more drivers than the volume of offers, Christian?
For the most part, I would say we've gotten the saturation in a better place, but there are some markets where it's very competitive. That's for sure.
Okay. So for my market, Miami, for all my Miami listeners, Miami meaning the Tri-County area, Miami-Dade, Broward County, and West Palm Beach. How competitive is my market?
Are you asking me or the drivers?
You.
How competitive? So there's a lot of drivers in Miami. So I do think you could experience the rapid acceptance of orders, and even somebody will pick it up, it'll come back in your queue. Somebody will pick it up, it'll come back in your queue type of experience. But there are a lot of deliveries that are going on down there, and I'm sure you've experienced that and have a consistent stream of offers coming to you. There's a lot of work for sure.
The thing that I experienced just as we close, so being an elite driver, for all those that want to hear the elite driver experience, just being in a very busy market, once I get those orders come into my phone in advance, I route myself and I pretty much try not to even look for anything else. So anything else that comes in, I just let it go. But let's just say 48 hours in advance that I have to see these offers. Let's say my favorite customer to deliver to is not going to place the order until less than 24 hours before the pickup time, right? If that comes through, I am now competing with Elite, Preferred, and everybody else that could see that, So I'm not just going to see it first because I'm Elite, right? So if I really want my favorite customer, I'm going to have to be there like, oh my goodness, I got to get this. And sometimes it just doesn't work, right? It works out when I see them in advance and I route myself, and I understand that the Elite tier, they see it first, but at the same time, if any other Elite driver operates like I do, we have a cap, right? And we can't do every single offer that we get. We can't. So if there's 50 offers and only 3 of them route well, that's all we can take, And then you have somebody reaching out to you and saying, hey, your route looks good and you're good to go. Or, hey, your route has some confliction. Hey, some conflicts. Hey, you're going to have to modify that. And if it's not modified, somebody takes it from you the next day, right? So the whole thing is a lot of offers come in, even as an elite driver. And if I have my favorite customer to deliver to, but they decide to place the order for delivery like a few hours before the pickup time for that order, I'm going to have to compete with all tiers for that. All tiers that see that offer, okay? So there are benefits to being an elite driver, and I know a lot of drivers want to be an elite driver, but in order to be an elite driver, and I think you mentioned it, I think it's on the DAP about 100 deliveries, Christian?
It is, yep.
All right. I know everyone would love to be an elite driver. It's equivalent sort of to the DoorDash LOP. Not everyone can get in, right? But in order to get in, you have to stand out from all the rest of the drivers in your area. Christian, you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. What's been really cool is seeing restaurants request you specifically, and I think that's something people should be aware of too. That's a really easy way to stand out and also build your, we'll call it, book of business as a driver. Any restaurant that's working with us directly, we're asking them, hey, you can text us, you can call us, you can email us, and let us know, hey, here's a customer name, the date of the order, and this is the driver that I would like this order to go to. So really building those relationships with the restaurant can help a lot. And to us, that's an instant way to, like you said, stand out.
Yeah. And I guess the last thing I want to share, everyone, including for Nola, just in case you didn't know this, I know it's a competitive app. I want everyone to know I was in your shoes before these tiers. There was only preferred. Only the preferred tier when I got on the platform. And I remember having a conversation with Christian. I had given up on this platform, and I'm like, man, I ain't doing that. And then he broke it down to me how it worked. I got on the platform, and next thing you know, I just fell in love, right? So what I'm getting at is Deliver That also goes above and beyond to pretty much, if you're going to give their platform some time and you work their platform, they give you a bonus every quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So depending on however many deliveries you do, they give you some money for doing that and showing their appreciation. In case you didn't know that, Nola, now you know. You didn't know that. So every quarter, I think the top tier is platinum. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Right. And so, it's just that's for completed deliveries.
Completed deliveries, yes.
And then there's a monthly setup photo contest that people might not be aware of as well. So definitely submit those setup photos. There's 5 winners every month. We announce those, cash prizes, equipment that we send out, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So right. So just understand there's a lot of information on ideliverthat.com/DAP. All right. Okay. Driver Assistance Portal. I suggest you guys really go there and even sign in. Make sure you sign in. All right. Yep. Sign in so you can see all this information. Join the community. There's drivers just like yourself that may have an issue or may have an answer to an issue you're facing. It's just a whole community on the DAP or the community section of the DAP. Maybe I'm saying that right, wrong. I don't know. Correct me, Christian.
Yeah,
help.
No, community center, the community section of the DAP is a fantastic spot. I hop in there and answer questions all the time. So definitely blow it up and meet some other drivers.
All right. So just understand that it's more to Deliver That than you might see on videos out there, right? And I suggest if you really want to learn about Deliver That and their policies and everything, I suggest you go to that DAP, ideliverthat.com/DAP. And I learned this from Ben. You can follow specific policies that you want to remain updated on, and you will receive a notification in your email whenever that policy is updated. So for instance, if I had followed the preferred driver policy, I would have received an updated email. Hey, check this out. This is the new update. And I would see that, okay, it went from 30 days to 90 days. And now in this live stream, I'm finding out it's 90 days to 30 days. Right, Christian?
Yeah. And then you can do the same thing in the communities as well, right? If you want to follow along and get updates every time there's a post, follow specific threads so you can join the conversation. It'll work the same way. So you can stay up to date with all things Deliver That and other drivers. And
I probably won't hear the end of it if I don't ask this question that was texted to me about a while ago. And it's for you, Christian. All right. Hey there. Ask Christian when the change back to 30 days occurred. Still showing 90 days.
We'll track down where it would say 90 days at, but it was really just these past couple of weeks. We did a town hall with drivers, and that was a piece of feedback we got during that.
Okay. All right. So they just texted me something else. Let me know if he says I should still move forward, even though it still says 90 days. Thanks. And definitely. It's for the testing page. It says, have you completed at least 25 deliveries on Deliver That? They said yes. Have you been on the Deliver That platform for more than 90 days?
Yep. It looks like Ben said he just got that updated, so we should be good to go and tell him to move forward.
Yeah. So you got your answer there. All right. So anyway, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm going to do my outro. And if you don't have anything to say after me, I can't get my words right. if there's anything you want to say to me after the stream, just hang around. Let me just do a quick Brad of the day and then my outro, and then we'll go. All right?
Sweet. So, sounds great.
I appreciate everybody. Clap it up for Christian and the NOLA grind. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all
so
hit them.
much.
Y'all hit them with some questions. I like that. All right.
We did. It
All
was
right.
great. Thank you so much.
All right. Be right back, y'all. All right. So let's dive into the Brad of the day here. Do you see anything wrong? Anything that stands out to you with this screenshot here? $797.32. DoorDash pay $396.25. DoorDash pay adjustment. So this got to be out west, right? $138.93. Customer tip $258.52. Other pay $3.62. Active time 23 hours and 33 minutes. Dash time 60 hours and 30 minutes. Deliveries done 88. What stands out to you? Because I know something stood out to me and I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? I got just in case it takes a while for you to respond or for you to spot what I see. Why is a person only making $797.32 in 60 and a half hours? 60.5? They gotta work that much to make almost under $800? That's a lot of hours. Yes, they were active for 23 hours and 33 minutes, but 60 dash time? What are y'all seeing out here? This is, oh my gosh. And for those that don't know, that right there is $13 an hour before expenses. Okay? Before expenses. $13 an hour. And I said, well, damn. Now, let's look at this next one. Let's play this music again. No, let's leave the music off. Finally, I got one. What did they get? Let's check it out. Hi, this is your DoorDash driver. Hope you're having an amazing day. I will let you know through text when order has been handed to me and am on my way to you. Okay, this sounds good so far. I also am asking for a favor, please. Only if you can. We had a drunk driver smash our vehicle while out doing a delivery and car is totaled out. I am asking my customer/public for some help with donations, please, so it can help me get a new car, because renting a vehicle or renting a car weekly is expensive. So if you can donate extra change, God bless and thank you. If you can't, I totally understand. Why are y'all, well, not y'all, but if you're watching me right now, why are you doing this? Customers are already going through the whole tip fatigue thing, and here you are fatiguing them even more. What is this about? Come on, y'all. No. Please, this right here, please stop. Okay? All right? So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really did enjoy this show. I hope you got a lot of information from it. As a part of, as being sponsored by Deliver That, I don't want you to feel like I'm only going to ask questions or have conversations that are not real, right? I wanted Nola Grind to get in on this conversation so he can ask some questions from his perspective to show you that I'm trying my best to be as transparent as I can be and have Christian, someone from Deliver That, to be on the screen with me at the same time as Nola, and for you guys to ask as many questions as I could get in as possible. I'm trying to get you guys questions answered, these situations sorted out. If you're not getting orders, I don't know if you remember I said in a past live stream, let's wait till next year this time. If you're still having the same issue this time next year, then that's a problem. But obviously they're working on things. Drivers are having better experiences. It's not everyone that's having a negative experience. And if they're having a negative experience, Christian is saying, reach out to us. We're going to see what we could work out. We're going to see, you know, and they're saying, email this email. They're looking out for that email when you send an email. I understand the experience has not been the best, but these guys are working on trying to fix the issues that you guys have complained about. If you don't see that effort, then I think you need to take your shades off. To me, it's clear as day. They're making an effort, and you have to see that. If you can't see it, but you're still going through a bad situation, I understand. It's frustrating. These times are frustrating. You want to make the money you need to make. You're full-time, you're part-time. Something's going on. The app experience is not the best. I get it. But patience is a virtue right now. And everything has to be handled in small increments to make sure everyone has a great experience after. All right? So, if you enjoyed this stream, do me a favor and drop some broccolis in the chat right now. I haven't had my breakfast. I'm fasting. Okay? I got to go drink my water. Actually, I'm going to drink some right now. I'm fasting. All right? For those that don't understand this life of fasting, unless you've experienced it, you won't understand the feeling. Okay? I appreciate y'all. I try my best to keep it real with y'all. And if you still don't get it, you still don't see it after this stream, I don't know what else to do. But appreciate y'all dropping them broccolis. Y'all making me hungry. So with that said, fam, make sure you do me a favor and squeeze the life out the blasted like button, because no one else will understand what you go through except another driver just like you. And I will see y'all in the next one. So. Oh, yeah. What time it is? It's time to, what? Go get your money.